Today what I wanted to have a look at was Crontabs on FreeBSD. Otherwise, to the rest of the world who don't know Unix and Linux, or Nix in general, that would be scheduled tasks in the Windows world. So I thought we'd take a look at that and see how we can use that to our advantage. In this one, I'm going to be jumping to and from root and a standard user. This is a live system, so I'll try not to screw it up too much. But let's run through what a crontab is to start with and go from there. Now, a lot of this is going to be straight from FreeBSD's handbook, which I highly recommend you go and read. It is very much worth reading. I've said it before, I'll say it again. FreeBSD's handbook is invaluable. The amount of information that's there, the amount of time that's been spent on setting all of that handbook up is just, it's invaluable. It really is. So this is actually from the handbook config tuning -cron, if you want to find it, and it's been contributed by Tom Rhodes. So Tom, great article, this one. One of the most useful utilities in FreeBSD is cron. This utility runs in the background and regularly checks etc crontab. So that's where the main system crontab is based. etc crontab, that's the file. The tasks to execute and searches var cron tabs, so /var/cron /tabs, that's where individuals crontabs will be, and we'll set one up and that's where it will be. These files are used to schedule tasks which cron runs at specified times. Each entry in a crontab defines a task to run and is known as a cron job. Two different types of configuration files are used. The system one, as I said, that's in etc crontab, which shouldn't be modified, however. And then there are user crontabs, which can be created and edited as needed. Now, I'm a bit of a lazy sysadmin. Most of my cron jobs have all gone in etc crontab. So I'll show you what that looks like. So here are the system ones, and we'll run through what all this means in a minute. So it's save entropy, new syslog, so rotating syslogs, system logs, periodics, and as you can see there's one there that I've put in which I don't really need anymore. The periodics, so these happen on a daily, weekly, monthly, and as you can see there are numbers and stars and a username and then the command. Then we'll go through all of that in a mo, and then there's the adjust kern z, TZ, time zone, and then here's my one. So got the backup. Don't know why I'm using that anymore. It's not going to let me save it anyway. So just by looking at this, I can tell you there's quite a bit there that isn't used anymore. So we'll go through that and have a look at what it actually means. These numbers will tell you exactly what it means there. As per usual on FreeBSD, anything that starts with the hash character, that's a comment, that's just information. It doesn't do anything. So the first two lines is the shell, which is bin sh, and then the path. And if you're not familiar with what the path is, I'll probably do a video just on that, but essentially it's setting up this file to tell it where to look for executables. So it's looking in sbin, bin, user sbin, user local sbin, user local bin. It's not looking in places like root bin or anything like that. That's not been set up in this, but we could quite easily set that up. We're not going to in this video. It's out of scope for this video. So then what you've got is minutes, hours, mday, month, wday, who, and command. So if we go down to one that I've set, so let's go with this one here. This one is just a little script that I've written, which is a shell script with just commands in it that updates my Git repository for ports, both for Poudre and for the system itself, and then it starts running Poudre to build the set of packages that I use. And as you can see, it runs at 5 AM every day except for the 7th day, which is Sunday. It's run by root and then the command too. So the first character is the minutes, so it starts at 0500. So 5 AM. It's quite simple. It's really that simple. That's how crons work. And if you go back up, it'll explain that up here. So it's got the M day and the month, and so you can specify if you want it to run on a particular day of the month. It's nice and easy, but in this instance it's run on days 1 to 6, so Monday through to Saturday. It doesn't run on Sunday, and there's a reason for that, because if I was to update the ZFS file system while it's backing up, it all goes a bit screwy and it doesn't unmount the volumes correctly. So I don't do that. So while the backup is running, I don't run anything else. That's really it. That's as simple as it is for this. So let's clear that. So that's the system one, the one that you shouldn't use. The correct way for doing it is to invoke it using crontab -e. And we're going to do that with this user. You can do this for root as well, and it will set up a crontab in var crontabs called root, or whichever user you're setting it up for. So for in this instance, we're setting it up as my own user, so Gary. So crontab -e. It'll open up your editor of choice, whichever one you've got set in your shell's configuration file. Happens to be Pico for me. And the first thing to do is just set up those environments as we normally do. So there you go. And then what we can do is set up a job that we want to run. Now for this one, all we're going to do is run a simple command or a simple script that just prints hello world. That's all we're going to run. So how do we do that? Well, depends how often we want to run it. And in this one, we're just going to run it once every day at a specific time. So if we go 0 for, it's going to do it at the top of the hour, so at 0 minutes. And if we do it for the next hour, which in this case would be 11, and then star out everything else because we don't need any of that, and then the path to the command, which would be home Gary bin hello. That's the path of the command. Installing the crontab, there we go. So if I go into bin, home Gary bin, and there's hello. So if we now look in var cron tabs, it's denied permission. Of course it is. It's become root. Go var cron tabs. There's Gary's crontab. Let's have a quick look at it. There we go. Do not edit this file. Invoke it with cron -e as the user. Or you can invoke it from root as the user by doing crontab -e -u username. So as I'm root right now, let's go back to our home directory. I can go crontab -e -u Gary, and there it is. So what this will do is we'll just run this command, home Gary bin hello, which will do this. Hello world, and that'll do that at 11 AM every day. It's as simple as that. Crontabs are extremely useful. Now you can set up crontabs to do hourly, daily, monthly. You can set them up to run on startup. If you want something to run when you log in, what I would suggest is you use something like .profile or your .shrc. For instance, when I log in with this, it prints, maybe it's in .login. Yeah, okay. So for instance, if you're doing it, you want something to run when you log in, I would suggest using it in .login. When I log in as on an SSH, it runs NeoFetch, and it also resizes the window. So that's where I would put that instead of putting that in a crontab. So it's as simple as that. That's how you create crontabs. Really quite simple. The only thing left to do is to delete a crontab, and then we can stop. Okay, so let's become my underprivileged user. Let's go to our own directory, and to remove a crontab, it is crontab -r. Remove it, yes, and to check, there you go, it's gone. Simple as that. I do hope you find this useful. Crontabs I find extremely powerful, and it takes a lot of the headaches of sysadmin away, and it allows you to run commands that you run all the time on a schedule, on a timetable, however you want to say it. Hopefully you'll learn about crontabs yourself, and don't forget there is the man page for crontab, which just basically goes through all of what I've just said. So we covered the U, we covered the L, because that listed it, that was the first thing I did. Actually I didn't. We covered the R for removing, and we covered the E. Now the L, -L, just lists the current user's Crontab. Oh, look at that. You can set up additional files in var cron deny, a list of users prohibited from using Crontab. Now that's quite handy as well. Or additionally, you can set up var cron allow to specify a list of users that can use it. Might be better doing it that way than say everyone can, but these ones can't. Might be better off saying everyone can't, but these ones can. So there you go. That is Crontabs in a nutshell. Don't forget to comment, share, like, subscribe, and do me a favour. In the description for this video is a list for the Discord server. Just want some feedback. Is it worth me keeping it going, or should I shut it down? Doesn't seem to be much going on in there. Just let me know. Personally, I don't really use it anywhere near enough. I simply don't have time. Just things get away from you, don't they? But it's you guys that use it more than I do. Is it worth me keeping it open? Let me know. Drop me a comment. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.